Hey! Hey! Andrew Bepler here. Hey, I'm gonna try and talk about all these other windows. I talked about the tools timeline color library and properties, which are the ones that I love and are close to my heart. But I gotta cover all the bases so I can move on to the rest of the goodies, like animating people and people exploding and exploding things turning into people. If you go to Window, up at the top here, then you can, well, you have so many windows. I'm only using 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think timeline. No, tools. No, library. What is the 5th one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tools, timeline, library, color mixer. It's properties. And properties as its own extra thing in here. There. I was baffled by that. So I'm going to just start from the top in toolbars. So the toolbars are at the top here. I have one toolbar active right now. It's this one where you can see the scene, the symbols, the zoom level, and the arrow right here and the timeline button. And to turn it off, you would go Window, Toolbars, Edit Bar. It's gone. Can't see it anymore. If you'd like it on, just do that. Also, you can have a play command and some extra ways to access tools and to undo, like you might see in other programs. That's with controller. That just adds those. And if you had frames, then you could use it and it would go. It's the same thing as hitting enter, and this is the same thing as going controls rewind. I think it's oh no, it's going period and comma, then that's the same as rewind. Yep. And then this stops it. It's the same thing as hitting enter after you've already hit it. Next, you have the main, which is like undo and copy and save, all that stuff you see in like Microsoft Word. But then there's snapping and align up here if you want. There's straighten and smoothen. If you'd like to do it up there, then you can do it up there. And apparently you can make it its own little separate thing by double clicking, and then if you drag and let go, you can make it go back. You can scale from up here, but you can only scale. Darndest thing. I would say just use Q. Use the multi-tool, where you can do everything. So I leave edit bar on, but controller and main off. And I think that's what most people who use Flash do. In the newer versions of Flash, I think it pairs the controller with this little menu here, so you have it all the time. Or maybe that's an option, I don't know. But just mess around with it. Make it look like what you want it to look like. Yep. Next, the next window down that I didn't talk about. The common libraries. Ooh, buttons. Alright, so Flash has some presets, and some of those presets are shared universally. You know what? You probably don't need to worry about this. Learning interactions. So, Flash comes with like some tutorials. You know what? If you want to delve into this whole thing, go ahead. I don't care for it. It's probably for people a long time ago who were trying to learn and didn't have YouTube tutorials. So Googling your problem is probably faster. Common libraries. Actions. This one is for making games. It's for making your games. If you had a button and you wanted to make that button make the animation play, you might write something like on release play. And then if you had a stop command here on one frame where it might say stop, open close parentheses, semicolon, then that would play your animation, and then it would start back in and you'd hit it and it would play it again. Action script. This is what the window looks like. There's an index over here of every action you can use. and then there's a brief description of your document and all the actions, I guess, that are in it. Anyway, that's those. I leave it closed because I made games a long time ago, but I don't anymore. So I leave it closed. Behave yours. This is, well, this is for particular things. And again, most of these windows are for web exporting and game making, and they're focused around ActionScript. So you can have stuff happen like stopping a sound and whatnot, but if you're just an animator, which is who these tutorials are for, then just make a blank frame when you want your sound to stop. You know, don't go in here and set a behavior to do it. Pretty useless window. The debugger. Nah, I don't even know what it does. I don't think anybody knows. No, people know what this does. This debugs. It's one of those terms that does things. If you hit, I think it's Control-Shift-Enter in the default hotkeys, or maybe it's Control-Alt-Enter. It's something like that. It plays it with the debugger. It's like Control debug movie, and then it launches it with this thing, and I guess it'll undo bugs if you have them. It's probably only an ActionScript thing, and it's probably not even that. I'm way out of my element with the debugger. And the Movie Explorer, though, that's an interesting one. I'm gonna load up a better example with a lot of stuff going on inside of it. Doors 4, number 2. Let's take a look at this. So here we have a lovely animation with all sorts of things inside of it. We've got symbols. We've got, you know, movie clips, graphics. We've got sounds. We even have a video, an MP or a .mov file. So that'll be great. So say you've got it all here. It's looking good. And you open up your Movie Explorer window. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You've never seen a window like this before. Well, you have. They all look like this, but you've never seen one with this kind of stuff inside of it. So much going on. This lets you look at your animation in a new way. And if you have crazy amounts of stuff going on, it might be helpful for tracking things down, for like duplicate sounds. So here it has your scene, and then it has your symbols. Inside of your scene, it has all your layers. Inside of those layers, it has your frames, and then inside of those frames, it has, like, you can have it show everything, symbols and stuff. But here, just take a look at this. Say we open up, oh boy, I just had it. What happened? I double click this. I double click that. Wait, just watch up here. It jumps to it. Double click frame 20, 30. It'll jump to frame 30. And where's the show symbols thing? Show text. I just had it and then it was gone. Here's a sound effect, okay? And it's on frame 11, or it's on frame 13. Right there, frame 13. If I click this and I right click it, I think, oh man, I was messing with this a while ago. It lets you do all this stuff. I swore it would. Uh-oh, I think Flash is having a lag moment. Yeah, it definitely was. I can't right click there. Oh, I finally got it. Right click a sound. See, I knew it was there. It just wasn't loading because this is a big animation. If I right click this sound, it'll jump to where the sound gets used. And if I wanted to go look at it in my library, then if I could hit Find in Library, and then it'll go and highlight that sound for me quickly and easily. And then here's all your symbols, and then the layers that are inside of your symbols, and you can use it to quickly go and edit symbols. So like say I had a symbol here, and inside of that there was another symbol here, right? And then inside of that one, there, oh, you know it, it's going to be another symbol. There we go. Now we get out to the main timeline. These are all inside of each other. And here's the hierarchy right here. Well, you can double click anything in its own hierarchy, and you saw it happen just now. It dug deep. It went down to where it was placed, as in inside of symbol 2, inside of symbol 1, and then it got me to my edit window for my symbol 3. So it's kind of an advanced window, but that's what it does. The Movie Explorer, and then if you go back to scene 1, it'll dig you out of it. You just watched it there. Great. I don't use it, but you might need it if you have a lot of stuff. The output has to do with code and commands and scripting stuff. When I use my FlashWhip thing, it uses code, so it'll give me a little command thing here, and then when it's done, it'll say, da 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 da, it was finished, good for you, we ran our command. That's output. It has to do with coding. Color, no wait, not yet, project. To work with Flash projects, create a new project, or open an existing one. An FLP. Watch a tutorial. Don't watch this. This is not how you would learn about Flash projects. So just forget about that window. Just like put your thumb over it when you're going down your list. Align though, I know about these. I understand what those do. Say that you have clicked your align button, then you will get an align window. It does everything that modify align does, and that's all it does. Okay? It has to do with changing alignments. If you want it open, a lot of people like it open because they don't have hotkeys for it. I've put hotkeys for all of that, those two, that one. I haven't done the distribute ones, so maybe you'll want it open. You know, just keep it right there in case you need it. You have a box, you want it to go to the left side of the stage, you make sure that to stage is highlighted, and then you hit this thing. Or, no, that thing, you hit that one. This does something else. There. Now it's all there. You want it on the right, it's on the right. Vertical center, or horizontal center, vertical center, top, bottom. And then if you have multiple things, you can distribute them, and like, you can match size. So say you want this blue thing to be the same size as this thing, as in 142 by 159. You would select this, and then match horizontally as the width. So now this is 142, and then it's important that you go the one you want to match to first, and then that, because if you did this, the blue one first, wow, I thought that that's how it worked. That's not what it does. I guess it matches to the bigger thing, or maybe it matches to the one that was created first. So yeah, what it does is it matches whichever was drawn first, is what it looks like to me. I don't use this. If you want it to match size, I just always punch it in by hand. So 91, I would go in here and type in 91, and then they'd be the same. But it's there for you if you want to mess around with it. And then if you want to do this alignment stuff, to stage has to be selected. There you have it. That's the align window. I don't keep it open anymore. I like to close that thing. Window. Color swatches. I touched on this briefly, but I'll do one more description. If you go to your color mixer, usually color swatches is paired with it. It's the same thing as this, except it's there all the time, and you can quickly change whatever color type is selected, be it strokes or fills. Oh, you have to have something out, and then you can change it. You have to have, like, click your line tool, so it's not a nothing color. And you can't use it with the background color for your document. You can do that, but you have to go like this if you want to grab swatches for your background. Yep. Swatches. Also, Swatches has some options here where you can change your color palette. The default is it's that. If you're using Flash, you're probably using this. And a lot of programs use .clr files, which is a color palette. I've made one. I did this already. I made one that looks like that. Pretty nice. You can make your own color palette pretty easily. It's not even hard. You would just say clear palette or clear colors, and you start off with black and white by default, and then say you're like, oh shoot, you have to make it by hand. You really like this brown. Ooh, I want that brown to be a swatch. Now it's one of your swatches. And if you get like 1,000 of these, all different colors, and you really like the combination that you've made, you could hit that button and then go save colors and then name it my sweet colors and then save it and then go back to your 216 colors. Then, oh, I want my browns back. You go either replace colors if you want to get rid of all of these and get yours back, or add colors if you just want yours to appear at the bottom. I'll go replace my sweet colors, and then you have back those ones that you just saved. And if you want those to be there every time you open up Flash, you go save as default, and then it will always, when you open Flash, give you the colors that were there when you hit save as default. And then like normal, you can group it with other stuff. Load default colors. My default colors are these NTSC safe ones, but if you hit load default colors, it'll go to whatever is your default. Good. As long as the file isn't deleted, the color file. Great. So that is the swatches window. Info gives you position information. Here, look, X and Y. It'll show you where you are right now. It'll give you RGB information. I hope. Yep. So let's make a gradient so we can see this in action with the fill being a linear gradient going from orange, well, yellow. Watch right here. It's going to show you the RGB values. Crazy. No, wait. Oh dear, why is it not? It was just doing it. What are you talking about? You know what? Maybe that's not what it does. I don't use the info window. I guess it only knows what's happening with solid colors. Weird. Very, very weird. Yeah, it just says 0, 0, 0 for gradients. Okay. But it knows about these. Yes, it does. And you can see those there. If you had an alpha, then your little alpha number would be lowered to whatever it is. Info. And this will tell you width and height and registration point if it's a symbol. So say you make a symbol and you put your registration in the bottom right. It doesn't even know. Ooh. Why doesn't it know? What is that for? You can only have it here and here. Maybe you can... what? Info and a line go hand in hand. I don't know. I don't use it. I use this little instance of the info. And I guess it's whatever. Whatever. Close it. I don't want it. I don't want either of those. Next, there's transform. Okay, so this one is like, it's your free transform tool, but with values. So sometimes, every now and then, I need to do this. I need to open up the transform window because I need to scale something perfectly. Like, if I need this to be exactly twice as big, then I might use my percentages. I'll hit constrained, and then I'll make this 200%. And then it'll be exactly twice as big. That's about all I use it for. You can do rotations manually, like this is how you rotate, but say you want to do it with code, you want it to go exactly 35 degrees. That, if you want to go counterclockwise, you go negative 35. And, well, there it is. What's next? Skewing. You can skew by a certain percentage, horizontally and vertically. Whatever you need at the transform window, it's there for you. Components. So this is again on that whole like presets thing. You know, if you're not making these by hand, you're probably not ready to use these. So don't even worry. Don't ever launch components. Component inspector, I'm not even gonna. Workspace layout. This isn't a window, but we talked about this. It's how you change where all your windows are. You can hide all of your windows, and then I'll do cascade and tile last. Other panels. Accessibility. It's this little thing, and it has to do with publishing to the web. Yeah. This, history, I briefly talked about. Well, actually, I went pretty in depth in the tips and tricks video. But your history is this. If you want to change how many history items you have, you go Flash, or you go Edit, Preferences, right here, Document, Undo Levels. There's, okay, leave it at Document when you're starting off, but there's also Object Level Undos. Just leave it at Document, it's safer. 300 levels is the most you can have. I always have it at 300. I wish I could have 1,000, because sometimes I need to do a lot of undoing. But I think you have to have 2. Yep, 2 and 300. In between those two is how many levels you can have. If you have a really slow computer, you might leave it at like 100 to save a little bit of memory. But I put it at 300. And then that's how many times it'll remember things you do. If you want to make a command, you select whatever you want, you hit save as new command, and then name it, and then that'll be up in your commands window. If you just want to replay something, then you can do that with the replay button. So if I want to see this get created, rotated, dragged up, left, and then had a chunk taken out of it, and then deleted, and then deleted, I might start from here and replay it. And it'll do all of that. But if I wanted to stop it before I deleted it, then I could get it to just that point by replaying just those steps. And then here was where it got deleted. Good. Replaying. This lets you copy steps. So that's if you're doing like JavaScript editing, like copy those. Just, you don't need this button. At most, you need this button. Okay? Done. Done. Now, history. I mean scene. If you have more than one scene, if you're doing really lengthy animations, then this is how you access your scenes. Either here or here. So if you make a new one and you double click it and call it explosion scene, explosions scene, even more intense, then it'll be there. And then up here is where you tell what scene you're on. By default, you're on scene 1. Almost all the time, you're just going to be in a scene 1 animation. And so once you go through scene 1's animation, riveting. That's enough. And then you put some extra frames in there. Scene 2 will play. So if I go to scene 2, and then I make some blue stuff, this is going to be the sweetest animation you've ever seen. Check it out. Scene 1, explosions scene. Scene 1, They'll go back and forth. And if there were 3, they would go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I think you can change the order just by clicking and dragging. Yes, you can. If you want to duplicate a scene, then you hit that button, and if you want to get rid of one, you trash it. Are you sure you want to get rid of all this scene? You worked so hard. Yes. Yes, I do. Scenes. Next, there's strings. Not even going to try. Web services. It's another one of those things. Strings is, I don't know. because I don't use it. But it has to do with coding. That's the end all for stuff that you don't know what it does. It has to do with things you don't use. Languages, XML, strings, IDs, charts. Just close it. Just close it and everything will be fine. You're gonna need these ones and maybe this one. Okay? And maybe this one. Or that one. And then down here, cascade and tile. So look at your thing right now. In your document, you have these are documents. In your Flash, you have documents, and you can make them appear in different ways. There's cascading and tiling. If you hit full screen, I think this is tile right now. No, this is tile. You can view multiple documents at once in your workspace. And then all their timelines respectively stay with their documents because timelines are document dependent. If you hit full screen on any of them, any one, it'll go back to, is that cascading? No, that's cascading. So I guess this is default view, and then there's cascade, and then there's tile. If you ever want to use that, it's there for you. Full screen on any one of them will get you back to the original, where it's tab-based viewing for your documents. And then we're at the bottom. These are just your currently open documents. You can switch between them using your window button. It might be more helpful when you are in the cascade view, because then it'll bring it to the front more quickly. And there you have it. Flash. Those are the other windows. Thanks for learning slowly, and hopefully your Flash doesn't crash like it did in one of my tutorials. Bye.